Hi all. So this is a vlog about the YouTube journey, or my YouTube journey, and obviously it will say the channel's been live since, I don't know what it is. I think it says 2010. It doesn't really matter. Essentially, the channel has been in its current form really since, I would say, October, November of 2024, something like that. And it basically just sort of started off as sort of regurgitating loads of sort of material that I had from holidays that we'd been on, and it was more sort of shorts and stuff like that. It wasn't sort of anything else. And then it sort of became, quite good fun sort of doing it, getting people's comments, seeing the numbers growing with the sort of the views and the subscribers, and, it gets you, it really does get you. And we then sort of moved on to sort of, the first sort of proper travel series, which was the cruise that we did last year, which was on Britannia, which was absolutely great. I mean, the amount of subscribers I picked up from that series, not just from the vlogs, but also the lives I was doing every single day. It is amazing. The people that are out there that watch these, vlogs, lives, shorts, but you've got to get the right content out there. And that's sort of, one of the things that you need to sort of think about is sort of what you want to do. My channel sort of has grown so much from sort of the beginnings, from, being a bit of a travel vlog, and, that's essentially what it was. Because I had so much material, in the beginning, I was very much able to sort of, keep along those sort of lines. But it wasn't realistic. It was always going to sort of, run out. And, once the material runs out, you've either got to get new material, which means going on holiday, which means spending more money, or you've got to sort of allow the channel to grow. And from my point of view, obviously, we started doing the lives, the dog walks that I do every morning, and we started doing those in May last year. I think it might have been slightly before that, but definitely sort of it really sort of took off sort of from May last year. So this is sort of why I'm doing it now, is because we're sort of a year on from sort of when the channel really sort of changed, and we stopped the sort of the travel sort of side of it, and we sort of grew it in different ways. Like, we did, the lives, we did sort of the shorts, the vlogs were still sort of days out and stuff like that, but it wasn't sort of necessarily a holiday as such. And this is what I'm saying, know what you want to do, but also be adaptable. I think that is really, really important, because if you don't adapt, then you've got a very, very niche sort of channel. And if you're not sort of doing something all the time, you sort of fall out the algorithm a little bit. And I think that's sort of important. You've got to sort of try and stay in the algorithm as much as possible. There's lots of vloggers I watch, and they concentrate more on the vlogging side of it, which is fine. If you are going away, you're going out, you've got loads that you can be doing, that's fine. But even some of the most popular vloggers now, they've accepted that they can't be vlogging every day, so they start doing lives. And again, you adapt your channel to sort of suit your clients, as in customers, as in your subscribers, and you sort of build it. And as I say, from my point of view, that's exactly what I've done. And sort of over time, you sort of learn what people like, what people don't like. You learn how to deal with the rubbish comments, you know, whether it be on the vlog or whether it be sort of on a live. You know, unfortunately, we had one particular live that we were doing, which was all about the cruise that we just done, and poor old Julia, you know, she was being lambasted. And I just didn't know. I wasn't, you know, she wasn't telling me because she was keeping an eye on the comments whilst I was sort of doing the talking. And it, you know, really upset me, really made me think about whether I wanted to sort of still continue, you know, doing it. But, you know, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing the lives. The vlogs, there's a lot more maintenance with vlogs, and I'll come on to that in a minute. The lives are very straightforward. As long as you can keep your audience entertained for however long you're going to be doing it for, then you're absolutely fine. I mean, you know, I do the lives Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays now, give myself sort of Tuesdays and Thursdays off. And by doing that, you do have a little bit more freshness when you do it, rather than sort of, what did I do yesterday and all that sort of stuff. You've got a bit more to talk about, and it also, Tuesdays are now my content getting day, which is I do the content. Thursdays to sort of give myself a bit of a day off from the channel, you know, just sort of let it do its thing. If everything's in place, then it looks after itself. So that is very important. Just make sure everything is in place so the channel just looks after itself. And then, as I say, with the vlogs, it's a bit more maintenance orientated, time orientated, because you've got to sort of, you know, edit and do bits and pieces with it if you want to. You don't have to. You can just sort of mash it all together and then just put it out there. But, you know, it does look a little bit nicer if you can sort of, you know, what's the phrase? Wax a turd, shine a turd. Is that the phrase? And that's exactly what it is. You know, you need to make it, you know, look good. Because if you don't, then people aren't going to watch, are they? And, you know, that's something sort of I realised, you know, from doing different sort of vlogs. You know, as I say, the first big one, the travel series on the cruise, you know, it really did sort of take off. Got some good numbers, good subscribers. And then also we did Euro Disney end of last year, which again was a good one. And then, as I say, we've done the Mallorca travel series. And in between that, we've obviously done days out and stuff like that. So, excuse me, there's lots on the channel. But as I say, the important thing is, you know, more than anything else, is understand what your subscribers want. Build your channel around that. But also really be adaptable. That's the thing. That's the most I can say. You know, from this channel, sort of October, sort of 24, starting off as a travel channel, to now it's sort of an everything channel. You know, I can only tell you that's how the channel has evolved. The channel is a relatively small YouTube channel. You know, let's be honest. You know, just over 1,000 subscribers. You know, it's got a long way to go. But it's going in the right direction, and that's all I can ask. You know, and it's a lot of hard work, guys. You know, the shorts that I sort of concentrate primarily on, it takes time. When you're doing it in the volume I'm doing it, you know, you're talking about 3 to 4 shorts a day. You know, so you've got to get the material, you've got to get it on there, get it out there. You know, it takes time. So don't give up with your channel if that's what you're going to be doing. The important thing is, as I've said before, know what you want to do, grow your channel from there, and then be adaptable. Because if you don't be adaptable, your channel will become very sort of almost one-dimensional. And I think you've got to sort of be adaptable, as I've said. So hopefully that just gives you a little bit of a, you know, an idea of where sort of the channel's come from. Obviously where it's going. As I say, we've now sort of down to 5 lives a week instead of the 7. Gives me time to sort of get, you know, some better content together. So we're now concentrating on all 3 sort of genres, as in the lives, the shorts, and the vlogs as well. So lots more vlogs coming up. later on in the year. We've got lots of travel series to come, and everything else in between. So, as I say, I hope this helps you guys sort of, if you are thinking about doing your own channel. You just got to persevere, guys. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. Take it easy.